Welcome back to GH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue unfolding inside General Hospital's surgical suite, where life and death hinge on a knife's edge and where ghosts from the past refuse to stay buried. Sonny Corinthos lies on the operating table in a state-of-the-art cardiac suite, his chest exposed beneath layers of sterile drapes, monitors beeping in rhythmic cadence to mark every fragile breath. This is no routine procedure, it is the most dangerous operation of his life, an open-heart surgery that will repair valves weakened by years of unrelenting stress, violence, and betrayal. Outside the sealed glass walls of the operating room, Carly Corinthos paces the corridor floor in high heels, her face pale and drawn, the soles of her shoes clicking against the tile like fractured heartbeats echoing Sonny's own. Carly arrived before dawn, refusing offers of coffee or the company of well-wishers. She stood alone, arms folded tightly across her chest, willing her own silent prayer to form in the hollow of her throat. As nurses wheel in the final trays of instruments, forceps, scalpels, retractors, sutures, Carly's gaze remains fixed on the sliding doors. For years, Carly has known the cold logic that Sonny lives and rules by: conceal weakness at all costs, expose vulnerability only to those you trust without reservation. Yet even Carly knows that once the surgeon's blade makes its first incision, anything can happen. Even the most skillful hands can falter. Far too many lives have ended on these very tables. Today, Sonny's life, his power, and the fate of his empire teeter on a single thread. Suddenly, Carly blinks against the harsh overhead lights. Her heart leaps as she sees a familiar silhouette move behind the glass partition of the surgical suite. The figure stands just inside the threshold, framed by the glow of the sterile lamps. A woman Carly believed dead these past years, yet alive and very much present now. Nelle Benson. The nightmare from her past, the architect of betrayals that nearly tore Carly's family apart. Memories rush back, the car accident that left Nelle comatose, the desperate confrontation atop the cliff's edge, the scream of stone giving way beneath her feet. Carly never saw Nelle fall, but no one ever retrieved a body. For years, Carly assumed Nelle perished when she plunged down that rocky precipice, but the body was never found, and whispers of sightings in obscure corners of Port Charles haunted Carly's nightmares. Now, in the very place meant to guarantee Sonny's survival, Nelle stands again. Carly's breath catches in her throat, and the rose she still clutches, brought in hopes of placing it on Sonny's pillow after the surgery, slips from her grasp and shatters on the floor. Instinct takes hold. Ignoring the cries of nurse. Security. That swell behind her, Carly bursts through the swinging double doors into the OR, the door clang echoing through the corridor. Surgeons squeal in protest, scrub nurses brandish scalpels defensively, and anesthesiologists shout warnings as Carly stumbles to the side of the table. "Stop this!" Carly's voice rings out, firm and trembling. "Get her out of here, she's not supposed to be here." Nelle's wide, unfamiliar eyes lock with Carly's. For a heartbeat, time slows. Then, as swiftly as she appeared, Nelle backroads out of sight, gliding past the table and vanishing through a back exit that Carly never noticed before. Before any orderly can intercept her, Carly kicks at an electrical panel, plunging part of the room into darkness. Red standby lights flicker on, alarms chirp, and pandemonium erupts. The surgical team retreats, dragging Carly back toward the hallway. Through the window's glare, Carly sees Nelle's retreating form, slender and determined, ghost-like in her hospital scrubs. Carly screams, "She's here, she tried to kill him. I saw her." But voices of authority, security guards, hospital administrators, descend with dismissive urgency. "Ma'am, you're disrupting a critical procedure. Please step back." Carly resists, tears in her eyes, but hands close around her elbows and haul her to safety. In the sudden quiet of the corridor, Carly leans against the cold wall, her pulse fierce and raw. The overhead fluorescents hum in accusation as Carly gasps for air. The scheduled surgery can no longer proceed safely, Carly knows it in her bones. Nelle would have used this moment of vulnerability to strike a fatal blow. If the operation continues, Sonny may wake to a blade at his throat instead of the healing of his heart. Acting on instinct honed by decades of surviving deaths both personal and professional, Carly summons security, demands to speak with Dr. Isaiah, and forces an emergency suspension of the procedure. The hospital goes into lockdown as officials scramble to assess security breaches, to verify Carly's account, and to ensure Sonny's unassailable protection. Moments later, Carly is ushered into a private waiting area where Dr. Isaiah stands, surgical mask lowered beneath his chin, his face contorted in exasperation. "Miss Corinthos, the surgery is already underway. Rest assured, your husband is in expert hands." Carly steps forward, her eyes blazing. "A woman got in there, a woman I know. She's dangerous. She's here to kill him." Dr. Isaiah's brow furrows. He adjusts his glasses. "Who are you talking about?" Carly huffs out a name, Nelle Benson. The doctor's expression darkens as he recalls her file, years ago declared deceased, cause of death listed as fall from a cliff. "Ma'am, Nelle Benson is presumed dead. No credible sightings in years." Carly thrusts an image from her phone, blurred but unmistakable, Nellie's face, her eyes wild in the OR's glow. Isaiah takes the phone, silence sweeping the room like a guillotine's blade. Carly seizes the moment. "We cannot proceed until Nelle is found." She means to use the surgery as an opportunity. "I saw her myself. If you care about Sonny's life, we stop now." Dr. Isaiah glances toward the OR doors. Behind them, he can hear the faint line of a heartbeat on the monitor. A logistic nightmare unfolds. Halting an open-heart procedure could kill Sonny outright. But proceeding means handing Nelle a weapon to finish him. Isaiah wrenches off his mask. "Get him stabilized, get him out of here," he orders the team over his shoulder, voice terse. "Call Dr. McLean in transplant, we'll move him to a secure facility." Within minutes, the OR lights dim. A skeletal crew rushes to remove life support lines, transfer monitors to a mobile cart, while Carly watches over Sonny's inert body, her hand clasped over his finger. As they wheel him down a service corridor toward the private airlift helipad, Carly dares to press her cheek to Sonny's. "I'm sorry, Sonny," she whispers. "I'll keep you safe." Outside, in the empty hallway, Carly summons her faithful enforcer, Maurice, via secure line. "Find her," she says. "Nelle Benson, dead or alive, find her before she finds us." Morris's gravelly voice promises swift action. Carly exhales, steeling herself for the fallout to come. In the weeks that follow, Sonny resurfaces in a secluded medical villa owned by an offshore contact, his surgical wounds healing under guarded watch. He emerges pale, gaunt, but alive, and sits across from Carly in a sunlit sitting room overlooking a private lagoon. Carly recounts every harrowing detail. The glimpse of Nelle in the OR, the chaos she unleashed, and the rushed operation to move him. Sonny listens, his expression inscrutable. He places his hand over hers. "You got here in time," he says quietly. "You saved my life." Carly's eyes brim with tears at his gratitude, relief flooding her hardened heart. But Sonny's gaze hardens as he contemplates Nelle's resurrection. "She couldn't have come back for luck or closure," he muses. "She came back to finish what she started." Carly nods, awareness sharpening. "She'll try again." With that, Sonny issues his first order since emerging from shadows, a citywide search for Nelle Benson, dead or alive. He calls in favors from Valentine Cassadine's intelligence network, enlists Dante Falconeri's discreet surveillance team, and directs Max Scorpio to mobilize hospital security at every facility in Port Charles. "No stone unturned," he instructs. "Find her before she can bring harm to my family or my people." Back in Port Charles, rumors swirl of sightings, a nurse matching Nelle's description in corporate lobbies, a woman with her distinctive gait in alleyways, a scrub-clad figure in night shifts at obscure clinics. Carly follows each lead personally, her corporate luxuries exchanged for street clothes and undercover IDs. Every footprint is a reminder of the threat rising again in her life. Sonny, meanwhile, travels under a pseudonym to medical conferences abroad, ensuring his condition and location remain secret from any who might exploit them. But his mind never strays far from Nelle's shadow. In late-night strategy sessions with Maurice and Xander Smith, he reviews intelligence dossiers, interpolates patterns of Nelle's prior assaults, and designs contingencies for every conceivable ambush. For Sonny Corinthos, to know Nelle is to anticipate her next move, to remain one beat ahead in the lethal choreography of Hunter and Hunted. Back at General Hospital, Carly visits the OR's glass-walled chapel alone and prays for Nelle's capture, for Sonny's continued recovery, and for the day when Port Charles can rest free of ghosts from its darkest chapters. Outside, the city hums to its daily rhythms of gossip, commerce, and shifting alliances. No one suspects how close they came to losing their protector on that operating table altar. But in the haze of recovery and pursuit, one truth shines clear: Sonny Corinthos may have survived open-heart surgery, but the greatest battle for his life and his legacy has only just begun. Stay tuned to GH Spoilers as we continue to follow Sonny's covert exile, Carly's relentless hunt, and the inevitable showdown with Nelle Benson, the woman who refuses to stay dead. In Port Charles, no heartbeat is safe, no surgery is simple, and every ghost from the past has a story yet to tell. Next, we will dive deep into the swirling storm of drama surrounding Willow Corinthos' perilous journey to Germany and the potential catastrophe that could await her on her return. As whispers of a devastating plane crash loom over her storyline, the stakes have never been higher for Willow, her family, and the shadowy intentions of Drew Kane. With guardianship papers already signed, a custody battle could erupt if tragedy strikes. Let's unpack the layers of this gripping saga, exploring every twist and turn with fresh insights and imaginative details that paint a vivid picture of what might unfold in Port Charles. A desperate journey to Baden-Baden. Willow Corinthos, portrayed by the talented Caitlin McMullen, has embarked on a heartfelt mission to reconnect with her estranged husband, Michael Corinthos, who is recovering from severe burns at a specialized clinic in Baden-Baden, Germany. Her determination to bridge the emotional chasm between them, widened by her past indiscretion with Drew Kane, drives her to board a plane and face Michael in person. This isn't just a trip across the Atlantic, it's a voyage laden with unspoken regrets and the heavy burden of recent decisions. Willow's impulsive choice to sign over guardianship of her children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, to Drew in the event of her incapacity adds a layer of foreboding to her travel plans. As she packs her bags, the weight of potentially never returning to her little ones lingers in her mind, a silent fear that shadows her every step toward the airport. Imagine Willow at the departure gate, her heart racing not just from the anticipation of seeing Michael, but from the gnawing uncertainty of what she's left behind. The bustling airport, with its cacophony of announcements and hurried travelers, mirrors the chaos in her life. She clutches a small photo of Wiley and Amelia, a talisman against the unknown, as she boards her flight. The journey to Germany, as confirmed by recent episodes, concludes without incident on April 25, with Willow arriving at the clinic. Yet, the real test lies not in reaching Michael, but in the emotional battlefield she must navigate upon arrival and the treacherous path that may await her on the return. A cold reception and hidden machinations upon reaching the Baden-Baden burn clinic, Willow's hopes for reconciliation are met with a chilling rebuff. Michael, still grappling with the physical and emotional scars of the explosion at Sonny Corinthos' penthouse, refuses to see her, leaving Willow stranded at the clinic's sterile reception area. The attendant's curt dismissal, echoing Michael's unspoken anger, cuts deeper than any physical wound. Behind the scenes, speculation swirls that Drew Kane, or perhaps even Carly Spencer, might have orchestrated this rejection, pulling strings to ensure Willow's visit ends in heartbreak. Drew's vested interest in maintaining control over Willow's life, especially with the guardianship papers in his possession, casts a sinister shadow over his potential involvement. Picture Willow standing outside Michael's room, her pleas falling on deaf ears as the door remains firmly shut. The clinic's cold, clinical atmosphere amplifies her isolation, each tick of the wall clock a reminder of her failure. Unbeknownst to her, whispers of Drew's influence might have reached the clinic staff, with a subtle bribe or a well-placed call ensuring Michael's refusal. This calculated move could be Drew's way of tightening his grip on Willow's future, knowing that her despair might drive her to lean on him further. As she turns away, defeated, the idea of returning home to Port Charles becomes both a solace and a new source of dread. The flight back, arranged by Drew with a private plane, suddenly feels less like a lifeline and more like a trap set by a man whose true intentions remain cloaked in mystery. The ominous return flight. With her mission in Germany ending in sorrow, Willow prepares to return to Port Charles, her heart heavy with rejection. Drew, ever the opportunist, offers to send a private plane to bring her back swiftly, a gesture that seems caring on the surface but hides a potentially lethal agenda. Spoilers suggest a horrifying twist. Drew might order the destruction of the aircraft, ensuring it never reaches its destination. This chilling possibility transforms the flight into a ticking time bomb, with Willow unaware of the danger she's stepping into as she boards the plane, her thoughts still on Michael's refusal and her longing to hold her children again. Envision the small, luxurious interior of the private jet, a stark contrast to the turmoil in Willow's mind. As the plane ascends into the cloudy German sky, she gazes out the window, lost in thoughts of Wiley's laughter and Amelia's tiny hands. Below, the world shrinks away, oblivious to the potential doom orchestrated by a man she trusts. If Drew is indeed behind a plot to crash the plane, as some spoilers darkly hint, the motive could tie back to his desire for custody or perhaps a deeper, more sinister identity as Shiloh, the cult leader from Willow's past, seeking revenge and control. The tension builds with every mile, the hum of the engines a deceptive lullaby masking the storm that might erupt at any moment. Catastrophe in the skies. The specter of a plane crash looms large over Willow's return journey, a dramatic pivot that could redefine the landscape of Port Charles. Spoilers paint a grim picture. The aircraft could vanish from radar, sparking a frantic search across international waters, or crash in a remote area, leaving wreckage as the only clue to Willow's fate. The news of the missing plane would ripple through Port Charles like a shockwave, with Nina Reeves and Carly Spencer reeling from the possibility that Willow is lost forever. Yet, in true soap opera fashion, death is rarely the end. Willow might survive, pulled from the debris with life-threatening injuries, or be presumed dead only to resurface later, much like Drew did after his own supposed demise. Imagine the heart-wrenching scenes in Port Charles as the news breaks. Nina, overcome with grief, collapses in Sonny's arms, her cries echoing through the Corinthos household. Carly, ever the fighter, demands answers, her suspicion falling on Drew as she pieces together his convenient involvement in Willow's travel plans. Meanwhile, search teams comb through dense forests or icy waters, guided by faint signals from the plane's black box. Willow, if alive, might be clinging to life in a makeshift shelter, her thoughts of her children fueling her will to survive. This disaster, whether it ends in tragedy or a miraculous rescue, serves as the catalyst for the next chapter, a battle over Wiley and Amelia that could tear families apart. Drew's power play for custody. In the wake of the presumed crash, Drew Kane stands poised to claim custody of Wiley and Amelia, wielding the guardianship papers Willow signed as his legal weapon. His swift move to assert control over the children shocks Nina and Carly, who vow to fight tooth and nail to protect their grandchildren and grandniece from a man they increasingly distrust. Drew's status as a congressman might lend weight to his claim in court, but his true motives, whether driven by genuine care or a darker agenda as Shiloh, remain a point of contention among fans and characters alike. This custody battle promises to be a war of attrition, with alliances forming and breaking as Port Charles's most powerful families clash. Visualize the courtroom drama unfolding. Drew, impeccably dressed, presents the signed documents with a calm, calculated demeanor, while Nina's eyes blaze with fury from the opposing side. Carly, strategizing with Jason Morgan, uncovers discrepancies in Drew's behavior, hinting at a hidden past that could unravel his case. Outside the legal arena, Monica Quartermain emerges as an unexpected ally for Nina, leveraging her influence to challenge Drew's claim. The children, innocent pawns in this high-stakes game, remain unaware of the storm brewing around them, their future hanging in the balance as each side digs in for a fight that could redefine family ties in Port Charles. The ripple effects and future uncertainties. The potential plane crash and subsequent custody struggle are more than just plot points, they are seismic events that could reshape the dynamics of General Hospital for months to come. Willow's fate, whether she emerges from the wreckage or remains missing, will test the resilience of every character connected to her. Michael, upon learning of the disaster, might be forced to confront his own role in pushing Willow away, his recovery taking on new urgency as he fights to return to his children. Drew's actions, if revealed as malicious, could mark him as Port Charles's newest villain, setting the stage for a reckoning with both the Corinthos and Quartermain clans. Consider the emotional fallout as a tapestry of grief, suspicion, and hope weaves through the town. Support groups form at the hospital, with friends and family holding vigils for Willow's safe return. Social media within the General Hospital universe buzzes with theories, some fans speculating that Willow's disappearance might unearth long-buried secrets about Drew's identity. As the search continues, a mysterious figure, perhaps a rescuer or a witness to the crash, could emerge with clues that shift the narrative in unexpected ways. The writers have crafted a storyline ripe with tension, ensuring that every episode teeters on the edge of revelation or ruin.